Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Finally, let's wrap things up with our very own producer, Shannon. Thank you so much for filling in for me while I was gone.
Yeah, I had tons of fun.
Everybody said you were marvelous and I should not come back. No, that's not what I heard. They said, don't come back. Let Shannon host this show. So Lenovo has, of course, the well-known ThinkPad line, and they've got some high-end stuff. But they also have a low-cost line, the Idea line.
They do. So one of their target markets is the budget tablet owner. So they wanted to break into that market with this guy, which is called the
budget, right?
Yeah, it's definitely budget. It's only $129. It starts at $129. The version that we have here is $149, and this is the Lenovo IdeaTab A1000.
Costs more because we have more RAM in it, or
exactly, yeah. So it has a few better interiors. It comes with a dual-core Cortex A9 MCU chip, and you can definitely see that, especially when you do things with like the accelerometer. It's actually a little slow.
You pay $20 more, you get a little bit faster prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how long that takes?
I think that's partly Android. A lot of Android devices are like that, huh? A little sluggish.
They are. Yeah. It also has 1 gig of RAM, 16 gigs internal memory. It also has 32 gigs at external micro SD card slot on the side. So you can increase that memory size if 16 gigs isn't enough. And then I, of course, has the volume ports on the side. I have the power button up at the top with the audio jack next to it. These two are actually certainly close, the micro USB charging port and the audio jack, which may be a problem for some people.
If you were plugging it in, it might maybe get the headphones could get in the way.
Exactly, but I don't know if you would be charging something at the same time.
I often do that. If I listen for a long time, Okay,
I never did that myself, so it didn't become a problem for me. Now, one interesting thing about the micro USB port is it's a OTG on the go, which means that you can charge things at the same time that you're using this as well, which is actually pretty useful if you have a whole bunch of different other products that you need to charge. For example, your cell phone, if you needed to charge that on the go. It's less than 1 pound. It's 0.7 pounds, so it's pretty nice there. It's about, I believe that equals out to 12 ounces exactly. And it also has a really decent battery. I wouldn't say it's great. It only lasts about 6 to 8 hours of battery life. You can only get about 6 hours when you're actually doing video playback, but on a normal consumer use, if you're just browsing the web and things like that, you'll get about 8 hours. It has, of course, Bluetooth on the inside, BGN Wi-Fi. Now, one thing that I did want to focus on is they have Dolby audio and 2 different speakers on here, so you get dual audio. You get nice stereo sound out of these 2 speakers, and that was their big selling point for this. Will be a good idea for anybody who is really obsessed with audio and having a decent tablet.
Does it sound good?
So if I pull up my browser, so I'll play 2 different videos, just a couple of short seconds on here. I have Radford's review of the 925. And I'll turn this up for you. It's nice and clear. It gets loud, too. It's pretty decent.
It sounds good. I mean, you probably can't tell at home, but it sounds pretty good, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And then if I pull up a different video, I'll pause this.
I could do it for audiobooks. It would be fine. For watching YouTube videos,
exactly,
it would be fine.
Yeah. Now, if we listen to some music, for example, this is a little bit different. You'll notice a change. Oh, I got to skip this ad. I hate it when ads
karaokeing?
Oh. I am totally karaokeing.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounded pretty good. That actually...
So I'll play some music that we won't get taken down.
There's no bass.
This is my friend Dale Chase. There is no bass, yeah, and that's a big drawback of this. While it does get loud and it's very clear and crisp, it does not give you that nice bass like IAZ's speakers, for example.
Right.
So that's definitely a drawback and something that would probably keep me from purchasing it. Right. It's also now considered a little bit old because it has 4.1 Jelly Bean instead of 4.3, which was just released recently, even though this is brand new. This just came out a couple of weeks ago, so it's pretty brand new.
Well, you'd think it'd have a later version of Jelly Bean. 4.22 is pretty common now.
Yeah, 4.2 is really nice, but 4.1, so definitely a little old. I'll save the display for last. I did want to mention on the front-facing camera right here, it does not have a back-facing camera on the plasticky back, and it's very plasticky, very cheap looking. On the front, you get this little camera, and I'll pull up some pictures that I took. They actually don't look that great. So here's a couple of pictures I took earlier today and some I took over the weekend.
5 megapixels, 8?
It is 0.3 megapixels.
Oh, that's the front-facing camera.
Only a front-facing camera.
Only
There's no
a
back
front-facing
camera.
There's
Oh,
no
dude.
back-facing camera. It's
Dude.
very grainy. It is very hard to get any photos in low
That's
light.
more for Skyping, I guess, or something.
Definitely
like that.
is. Yeah, you can't really get any good photos out of this with just a front-facing camera.
Right.
Now, the last thing on my list I wanted to mention is this display. And hopefully this processor will let me get back to the home menu.
Home, please.
Home. I
Take
wanna
me
go
home.
So no physical
All right, I'll
buttons
just
on there
shut
for
it
a
off.
home button. It's all
No.
capacitive.
No.
So when it freezes
No
like
home
that,
buttons.
you're
Okay, there.
Okay,
It froze.
there you go.
Which happens quite a bit. So the
Okay.
display on this guy,
I don't think you need to go much farther.
the display is 1024 by 600.
Ooh.
The resolution is really, really low.
Yeah.
And on this 7-inch device, in this day and age, I would expect a much better resolution because the pixel density is just terrible.
It's cheap. That's $149.
It's definitely cheap. Even the viewing angles, though, are really bad on it.
I think people should spend a little. I always tell people this: a cheap tablet is going to be a bigger expense because you're not going to use it. Spend $229, get an Nexus 7.
Yeah.
80 bucks more,
when
you get an
I do
Nexus
the
7.
viewing angles, even turning just
yeah.
slightly off camera, it just
Holy
goes
cow.
You get outdated
dark.
software, really bad camera on that.
And if you
it's
look
got
at
no rear
this
camera.
front-facing, take a look at that. It almost gave me a slight headache because of
The resolution
strange-looking
is
resolution.
not super high.
Yeah. So it was just, I really didn't like that. The display is just so bad.
Thinking why don't you do the pros and cons?
So
then we'll
my
surprise everybody with
pros-
your recommendation.
Pros, pretty good sound quality with the dual Dolby speakers. Little to no bloatware from Lenovo, which is definitely a plus. I hate it when companies put bloatware on there. The cons, of course, the terrible screen.
Yeah.
The screen's horrible.
Really is bad.
The performance, as far as the CPU and the processing speed go, is definitely slow, especially on the accelerometer. And one very, very low quality camera on the front.
Yeah.
Which is so bad.
So try.
So, I bet you can guess.
Even at half the price, probably a don't buy, yeah?
Yeah, even at half the price, I would give it a don't buy. I would say, cash out the little bit of extra money for a Nexus 7, or even the Asus has a 7-inch tablet, which is the same price.
We still like
better
the Nexus
resolution.
7 quite a bit. I think that there are good choices out there.
I think
is
in this
not one
case,
of them.
Lenovo should stick to laptops.
And it baffles
pretty
me
good
that
on those.
Dolby puts its name on something that sounds that bad. I mean, really, Dolby, come on. All right. Thank you, Shannon Morse, produces Before You Buy. Also, you'll see her all the time on a lot of our shows. Really appreciate it. You'll be playing poker tonight on Friday.
Oh, I will.
Will you? I don't
Okay.
know. Yes?
I guess
Shannon,
I'll be playing
you play poker?
I did win some money over the weekend in Vegas.
Well, there you go. You better watch out, Padre. So our resident priest is holding a poker game on Friday night. Make sure you tune in. Shannon will be taking the pot. Thank you, Shannon. But you can, right now, you can take that Lenovo away.